Hi, welcome to Portage County Matters. I'm Patty Dreier, Portage County Executive. It's great to have you with us. Got a few different topics at the top of the half hour, if you would. Some important ones, so I hope that you'll stick with me. There's something that I really need to have you weigh in on if you want to have your citizen voice heard on an important decision-making process in Portage County, and that'll be related to the healthcare center. Before that, I've got three other things. Two of them are quick, and one of them will just take another moment or so to move through it. So physical space planning and long-range facility planning for Portage County. You are well aware by now, if you've been watching the show, that we have a strategic plan in Portage County, that we're marching forward on its implementation, and that we are continuing with a planning process so that we can develop a long-range physical space plan for Portage County. And that will allow us to better plan for financial aspects of moving forward as well as operational aspects. Portage County is continuing to move forward on this, and you might have heard that at the January County Board meeting, the Portage County Board of Supervisors passed a resolution that authorized us to go ahead and pursue the purchase of a property that is adjacent to the County Annex building in downtown Stevens Point. This property is known by some as the Weber building. Some would know it as the place that Noel Group had offices and its child care center. Some would know it as the Associated Bank property. It's 3.53 acres at a price of $1.9 million. And this is again, located right next door to all of our other county facilities. One of the things that the county board is discovering through its planning process, especially the Space and Properties Committee, is that the county campus plan is a logical plan that will make some sense for all of us as we keep our facilities clustered, much like they are today, but keep them clustered for years to come so that citizens have a one-stop shopping or one-stop access point, make it much more efficient to do business with county government. Most administrative offices are downtown, of course the courts, the Lincoln Center and the Aging Disability Resource Center. We've got the jail and the law enforcement facilities, so we've already got a nice start to this hub, and we want to keep that going. This property right next door will make it possible for us as we configure long-range plans to ensure that we've got the maximum efficiency, and we're able to do our daily business as staff members also much more efficiently. If you've got questions about this property purchase and so on, I hope that you'll check with my office. We are now working through the inspections and so on that would come before we make an offer. One of the things that's related to that is the courthouse. It's important to remember that in the mix, regardless of whether or not the courthouse continues to be a courthouse for decades to come, it will be used as a county facility, and it's the city hub as well at this particular time, and these offices will continue, we'll continue to use it for administrative purposes. The building is aging, as you know, from the inside out, really. It needs HVAC upgrades, it needs plumbing to be dealt with. We've got restroom upgrades for accessibility purposes. We've got elevator upgrades. There's a whole bunch more reasons for us to have this property next door to be able to give us a chance to move our parts around, move our offices while we're renovating other facilities. So anyway, the details of any exact usage of this property in an interim basis as we work toward completing a long-range plan aren't all clear at this time, but we know we need these choices before us in order to make the best overall decisions for the long haul. Free tax assistance, that's the other thing I wanted to mention to you. We've got 3 locations offering tax assistance in Portage County for those who are eligible to receive help getting their taxes done. And I've got a quick flyer here. It's for moderate to low income individuals and families. And what we have is an opportunity, if you think that you may be qualified, to give a call to 211 That's our United Way helpline. And if you're 60 and over, you'll qualify if you're moderate to low income individuals and families for that free tax assistance. Taxes are prepared by trained professionals, and there are no charges for this tax preparation or filing. It's a free community service to those who are qualified. The 3 locations are at the Aging and Disability Resource Center, at the Public Library in downtown Stevens Point, and also at Midstate Technical College. Anyway, dialing 211 will get you connected with people who can answer questions as to whether or not you're eligible. Now, the interesting thing about this, I hear from some folks, is, well, what would we be offering this free tax advising service for, if you would, through community organizations like CAP Services or United Way? And the bottom line is that sometimes if people don't have the ability to pay for tax preparing and they try to do it on their own, what they might do is they miss out on some tax rebates and opportunities that are available to them that trained people know about. And so what happens is then these individuals don't have dollars coming back to them that they deserve to have coming back to them through the tax system. And when we get these dollars coming back to help individuals and families, the thing that's really great for all of us is folks are better able to meet their own needs rather than needing government to help them through various programs. The other thing is it gets dollars circulating back in our community, dollars that should have been coming back and deserve to be back circulating in our own community when the purchases are made at the grocery store, gas station, whatever. So anyway, again, thanks to all of those who are the VITA volunteers, the volunteer tax preparers, to help other citizens in our community who need help with that. Strategic planning, the implementation update I provided to the county board at the January county board meeting is available in a PowerPoint presentation format at the county's homepage. The website is co.portage.wi.us. I've coded the activities and goals, the actions that we've taken to the goals and objectives in the strategic plan, and you'll find a full copy of the plan also at the website. So I hope that you'll take a look. You'll keep monitoring our progress. It was a great opportunity for me when I put that presentation together to see that we're really making more progress than sometimes we give ourselves credit for. So thanks to all of the staff out there working very hard, and also to the county boards and committees that have also helped to move us forward. We're going to stay on that plan and keep marching. And the final topic for today, that one that I mentioned to you, would be really important, because this is an action point. There's a tight window of time to make sure that citizens weigh in on this issue. The Portage County Healthcare Center, as you know, we've been working through strategic planning from the beginning of my term as county executive about 4 years ago. We've made significant strides, but we have much more work to do, and decision-making still before us. When I took office, we were spending about $1.5 million of our tax dollars to operate the center, combined with the millions of dollars that come through the business of the healthcare center and through federal grant assistance and other funding mechanisms at the center. And remember, the Portage County Healthcare Center is not a mandated county mission. We've done it in Portage County since the 1930s because our county forefathers and county foremothers said, hey, this is something that we value. We value taking care of our own here in Portage County to the greatest of our ability. We value having our elders remain in our community as they age, even when they need extra nursing care, rather than go to other counties and other places where our families don't have as great access to them, and then they're more distanced from their relatives and so on. Anyway, before us today are decisions to be made about the future of the Portage County home. This is that facility, then, again, that many of you may be very familiar with. It's at the corner of Water Street and Whiting Avenue. We've made a lot of improvements over these last 4 years in particular. We have capacity for 100 beds at the home. 32 of the rooms are private rooms. We've added private rooms over the last few years. We've also got 68 shared rooms in the facility. What we're faced with today is that even though we've gotten the finances in better shape since 4 years ago, and every year we make improvements on that, We must decide about the long-term future. We had hired a consultant, as I mentioned at one of the previous shows, to do business modeling related to the healthcare field and help us analyze our existing facility and our existing finances for the center, and then help us chart a course of options for our future. Well, that study has been completed. That study has been presented to the county board in January. You can watch a videotape of that presentation on the county's, or on the website. We can get you directed with where to go. It's actually at the city's website to find the videos of county board meetings. And what we're going to deal with is how to ensure that we remain competitive in the market for long-term care, how to maintain this over the long haul, and how to organize our operation such that it is efficient to survive, very frankly, in the dynamic healthcare world of today and tomorrow. What we have is the Portage County Healthcare Center right now, remember, has a care wing for people with dementia and other memory-related needs. We have a wing of the center that is related to rehabilitation. So if you're coming from a hip replacement surgery or a knee replacement, for example, that would be a place to recuperate before you go home from the hospital. And then we have another wing that is the more standard long-term care wing, or a place where people may also receive some hospice care at the end of their life. We put all of this together as a skilled nursing center. It's a complex operation. What the consultant, Shank, helped us understand was, these are our options. We can look at remodeling our existing facility, building a new facility of 80 beds, or building a new facility of 100 beds. These were some of the general directions we needed their financial analysis on. We had them also look at what happens if we didn't do anything different, and we just call that status quo. What would happen if we continued just on the status quo pathway for our future? When we take a look at this analysis from these professionals in the healthcare field, and people who also looked at our existing aging facility that was built in the 1930s, what we have been told is, first of all, status quo is not an option. Status quo is not an option. We will financially go under if we don't make any changes from what we have today. No matter if we build a new facility, if we remodel or otherwise, we can't let the existing operation go the way it is and survive financially without digging a really, really, really deep and growing deeper every year financial hole. So, all right, let's take a look at the other options. We have to, when we look at a remodeling of the facility, what we're looking at is a scenario with those 3 wings I just described, that you would have construction going on in part of the facility while maybe someone's passing in another part of the facility, or maybe someone's trying to heal and have a little bit of peace in their life to get well before they go home from the hospital and in the rehab wing. And so this will disrupt our service greatly, and that would be something we would have to think very seriously about. It's an effort, if we remodel, to try to create much more efficient designs that are much more like and healthcare designs are demanded to be in today's world. Many baby boomers want private rooms and private bathrooms and not to have to share a room with someone. Remember, I said we have 68 shared rooms in the facility right now. So what we would be seeking to do is to create a model where we would have private rooms then in a setting that's pretty similar to our existing setting, I'm pretty sure, by the time the design is done. But we would have some efficiencies, we would have some upgrades, we would have private rooms, and so on. But we would have less rooms than the total facility offers for us today, because you're going to take up extra space, basically, if you create private rooms from shared rooms. All right? So that would be a cost of around $13 million. Or we can build a new 80-bed facility in the neighborhood concept where people have a more family-like setting rather than long hallways that we have right now. There are better health outcomes that are known in these kinds of settings. There are better staff efficiencies. It's an entire retooling of the healthcare system when you get away from a more institutional look and feel and design and staffing structure because of what those facilities demand of you to this neighborhood concept. So anyway, the 80-bed facility could be built for approximately the same price minus the property, and the county has property here that we could use if we wanted, for about the same price of remodeling the existing facility, so around $13 million. And then the other option is to build between an 80 and 100 beds. So if you look at a 100-bed facility, it would cost about $20 million. Now, our aging demographics, you know as well as I, our population is aging, and we will have greater needs tomorrow than we have today, most assuredly by virtue of just how the numbers work, as people over age 80 will be a greater segment of the population than they are today, and so on. So anyway, what we are dealing with is to take what we have today and to make a decision. If Portage County stays in the Portage County Healthcare Center business, and I sincerely hope it does, but if we do, because it's all about what the people want, and then how the county board votes on this as well. So if we stay in the business, then we will have to make other operational changes. Those operational changes will have to deal with staff changes, which will inevitably come to addressing staff strengths and the costs of staff hours and benefits and so on. We're going to have to address those things while ensuring quality care, because if we can't be in the quality care business, we shouldn't be in this business at all. So there's tons to work through, to think about, but we have to set ourselves on one of those paths very soon. In the next couple of months, I would imagine that we'll be marching closer and closer to making that decision, so that then we can move through and start to align our resources and our planning efforts accordingly to make the right decision for the long-term future of Portage County skilled nursing care. And I'll leave it at that, but I want to urge you, I do urge you to write to my office, call my office, write to your Portage County board supervisor, or call them. The information about those phone numbers and such are available on our county website, or you can call my office at 715-346-1997, and we'll give you those numbers if you didn't have access to the internet. Or email those offices if you are a person who uses the computer, and let's get your voice heard. We'll be scheduling some listening sessions out and across the community to be able to get out there and gather your inputs and continue to help us make this best decision for what you want for your future community here in Portage County. That subject is related to a guest I have with me today. I'm so excited to have Cindy Piotrowski join me as our new Aging and Disability Resource Center Director, after Janet Zander retired, or went to her next career, her next stage in her career, I should say. And so Cindy, I'm just so happy to have you join us, and I can't wait for folks to get to know you even better. Of course, you were the assistant director at the center before you were selected for this, appointed for this position. And anyway, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, so Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, and Lincoln Center are all part of this big picture when we're looking at an aging population, needs that we have in our community related to health care for the long haul and so on. Anyway, let's start with you though, and then maybe we can weigh in a little bit on the healthcare center before we get into all the other programs and missions of the ADRC, as we abbreviate the Aging and Disability Resource Center.
Okay.
So, tell us about you a little bit and why you're in this field.
Well, why I'm in the field, I've worked with adults with disabilities for most of my career. And when the assistant director's position became available, I wasn't going to apply even. And Marty Soka, who at the time was the RSVP director, came to me and said, "Cindy, you would be perfect for this. You need to apply for this." So she talked me into applying, and I was very glad that I did, because I come from a different perspective. I've certainly been accumulating at the aging background, but came with that disability background and have been very blessed to have had that in my life.
Wonderful. And so you were assistant director for what was about 4 years, if I remember.
4.5.
Yes, yes. And so anyway, welcome. And you're just doing a really great job in your new position. And I know that we've now hired your new assistant director.
Yes.
Who who ended up coming up the ranks.
Yes.
Maureen.
Maureen Miller. And Maureen has actually worked at the agency for 19 years in a whole number of capacities. She started as a student intern and has worked in the Adult Day Center. She's worked in nutrition. She's worked for RSVP. She's done falls prevention. She has just a wealth of knowledge about the agency.
I had the great opportunity of working with her in my past when I was a county employee in the finance department as a grant writer, and I can attest to her amazingness, let's just say it that way.
Yes.
All right, so the world's a dynamic world. Sure isn't anything, same today as it was yesterday in serving the populations you serve either. So let's talk just briefly about the ADRC, and then let's make sure that we do come to the point of talking a little bit about that healthcare center and how that really interfaces with what the ADRC does in its mission and role on a daily basis.
Okay.
There's a relationship for sure.
Yeah. The Aging and Disability Resource Center is a combination ADRC, but it's also the Department on Aging for the county. So we have all of the Older Americans Act programming. We provide the senior center. We have the nutrition program, transportation, evidence-based health program, all of those programs. And then we have the resource center component, which is that gateway into long-term care. And we provide, through our information assistance specialists, not only resources into the community, but also provide the initial long-term care assessment functional screen in order to determine people's eligibility for programs like family care.
So I guess what I would like to make sure that folks understand is you're a gateway to resources. So you are the place. If folks wonder as they're, and the folks are ages,
adults with disabilities 18 to 59,
okay,
and seniors 60 and older.
Okay, so if you're in those age brackets or those groups, I guess I would call it, and you wonder what resources you have available to you, how to get connected, what opportunities are before you, and what other kinds of programs can enhance your life and improve your quality of life overall, you're the place.
Correct.
That's the thing I love about it.
Correct.
There's always something going on.
And with the long-term care programs, one of the things people don't realize is because when they hear, well, you're there to do that functional screen to get people into the program and get them into assisted living. That's not what we want to do. Our goal is to really help people age in place, to stay in their homes as long as they possibly can, and help them, connect them to the services that make that possible before they need to go to that next step. And that next step, depending on a person's situation, could be community-based residential facility and assisted living, a residential care apartment complex, an adult family home, or potentially a nursing home like the Portage County Healthcare Center.
Mm-hmm. And we have the Adult Day Center at the ADRC as well, and that's an important piece, so that if somebody's caring for, say, a parent at their home, and then they're going to work during the daytime, they have a place that they can bring their parent who might need some extra care and can't be left alone during the daytime over to the ADRC, to the day center, and there's cool programming. I've gone in to do some of the music programming and everything to enjoy interacting with our friends over at the Adult Day Center.
It's a very nice place to go to get energized.
Oh, absolutely. Helps you remember what we're here for and who we're serving.
Why are we doing this? So, and they do some wonderful things. Sharon Anderson, as the Adult Day Center coordinator, is marvelous. So
they know more songs than I do, for sure. I'm telling you. Well, okay, so here we are. We have a number of different, say, sections or divisions within the ADRC. So we have transportation, we have a way to access your benefits, so benefits specialist kind of information and assistance, right? We have nutrition, so folks that help us ensure that people get home delivered meals or have meal sites, congregate meal sites to go to, whether I'm in Junction City or I'm in Rosholt or down in Elmond, wherever, it's you that help.
Elmond.
Oh, not Elmond, okay. And so it's you where we've got lots of, you're sort of like the hub of organizing those particular programs.
Yes.
All right, and then the falls prevention,
Yes.
another quality of life programming and Holly Shop, so that folks can take their arts and have a chance to,
They can
talk about that.
supplement their income. The crafters or artisans make their things, they bring it in, and then it's placed in the store for a certain amount of time, and when it sells, they get a percentage of it, and then a small percentage goes to help keep the shop open. And after a certain amount of time, things are actually removed from the shop, and they come back and they have an opportunity to take it and do whatever else they might want with it.
Right. Talk about your vital information program. Did I say that right?
Yes.
And I think I featured that a couple of shows ago, but there's some more things happening with it. I want to make sure that you get that opportunity.
The Vital Information Program is a great way for people to connect with the emergency system, or if you need an ambulance. Where we ran into some issues in the county is we had some people that didn't want to call an ambulance because they didn't want to leave a loved one at home who needed care. So we decided we needed to beef this program back up and get people on this so that they would be able to call an ambulance and have their mind be at ease. So the ambulance crews know to look for these packets. They fill them out. We now have these nice little stickers. I am a care recipient or I am a caregiver. So depending on who the call is for, the ambulance crew knows who to contact. They can contact law enforcement to follow up so that a care recipient is not left alone in the home.
Important. Yep. And then what about, where should people go if they want to get this packet again?
Call the ADRC at 715-346-1401 and ask for the RSVP program.
Okay, wonderful. We have a couple minutes in the show yet, and I know that the Mind Rewind program is one that you wanted to highlight before.
The Mind Rewind program actually is a wonderful early memory loss program where we have people with new diagnosis of dementia that come in and we have brain health activities for them so that it helps them stay able to function in the community longer. We're actually working on a partnership with the Portage County Healthcare Center to transition the program over to the healthcare center so it will benefit not only the participants that we have at our facility, but also the residents over there. So it's really just for the people who are currently in it. It's in a new location, but
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a wonderful opportunity, especially to be able to provide that to the short-term residents who are at the healthcare center.
And we have the dementia care wing, so it's got a kind of a stepping stone. If somebody then needs longer-term memory care, they can get some help at the Portage County Healthcare Center. Now, caregiver supports, more and more people are caregivers today, and we know that you're also a place where folks can get connected with like respite for caregivers to have a bit of a break in their world. Something that you want to have us mention about that? We've got about 30 seconds in the show or so.
It's the beginning of the year, and so for respite, for families to access respite, now is the time to make an application to get some funding assistance through our National Family Caregiver Support Program and our Alzheimer's Family Caregiver Support Program.
So if they call you, and we'll have the number on the bottom of the screen. If they call call the department, we'll be able to get them connected with the right people to help them get that application completed?
Correct.
Beautiful. Again, another way that you are in people's lives on a daily basis and really help our quality of life be truly incredible. Thanks, Cindy, for being here today and for all your staff.
Thank you.
And what they do to help us. Yeah, thanks. Bye. See you next time on Portage County Matters.